think he goes to the West because he can continue this finals run and keep it going.
Isn't it smart? It's smart to say. I mean, isn't it smart to stay? It's smart to stay in the East, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's at this point in his career, it should be a business move. And for him, the smart business is stay in the East and go to. This was his 7th straight finals, so go to his 8th, right?
This was his 8th.
Or this was the 8th, so go to his 9th. And possibly a 10th, go to 10 straight finals.
Yeah.
And then even retire. I mean, I even heard Colin say, would it be smart for LeBron to sit out a year, take a year off,
no way,
and then come back? But, I mean, I don't see that happening, but I personally don't see any way LeBron comes back to Cleveland unless they just completely retool that roster. But I don't see him doing that. But I see him staying in the East. So, I mean, I could see a Philadelphia as a very possible home.
Philly would be really nice.
Play with the Embiid.
Yeah, because I was looking it up today, actually. So Philly has to do nothing. They can. I think
give them a max contract.
I think they have to move. I think they have to move off. I think they have to move off of one guy, like a lower salary dude, but they get to keep all their starters and bring him in and keep their main bench guys. And Philly lost to Boston in Game 7, and they're all young. So I mean, I like Philly a lot, and then Boston's been thrown around. Actually, if they could afford him, they actually could. If they traded Hayward and brought in LeBron, boom.
I mean, and it came out. LeBron wanted Cleveland to keep Kyrie.
Yeah.
He was against that trade. He called Dan Gil, and that's what tells me LeBron's not going back there. Because he called the owner and said, don't trade this guy. I don't want you to get rid of him. And he did anyway.
Yeah. I think so. And I think it's coming out more that Kyrie left, not because – I mean, Kyrie wanted to be the man on a team.
He did.
Which is fine. I totally get that. He also was leaving because of the owner.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what he does that's so bad, but it's got to be behind
the players don't like him.
No, they don't. And it's got to be stuff behind the scenes that we don't even know about.
Yeah. But, all right, so moving on. Johnny Manziel played in the Canadian Football League, played his first game. He's playing for Coach June Jones, who, coached in Hawaii for a long time, but at the University of Hawaii. But Johnny Manziel actually had a really good game, a really good outing, his first football in over a year, and people are saying he didn't look terrible. He looked pretty good. So,
you know what? And
could Johnny Manziel return to the NFL? It remains to be seen.
What do you think?
I think if he has a great year in Canada, a team will sign him.
I think if he has a great year in Canada and he also stays out of trouble.
Yep, that's the big key.
Why not? Quarterback. I mean, some of these quarterbacks that are backups in the NFL, it's terrible. Like your backup's terrible, terrible.
And Johnny Manziel was a great player in college, and he was exciting. And to sell tickets in the NFL, an exciting quarterback who has name recognition, that cannot hurt your ticket sales.
So you just basically go, if you're a team, you don't, if you have an established, I mean, you either sign him. What he's going to do if he ends up going back to the NFL. You
don't sign him if you have, say, a Tyrod Taylor.
No. I don't know. I mean, I think.
I mean, he could back up like an Aaron Rodgers. He could back up, I hate to say it, but a Dak Prescott. If he has a great year in Canada.
Well, I don't think Jerry Jones, if he got his act together, I don't think Jerry Jones would be opposed to signing Manziel.
No. I mean, I hate to say it as a Cowboys fan because I don't want to see him in my organization. But, I mean, if you have a guy who's your pretty much clear-cut starter, you can sign him so your starter's not necessarily scared for his job, but he has somebody to push him.
So he'll probably end up doing, if he goes to the NFL, he'll fill out the market if he could be a starter. And if that doesn't work out, then he'll go for backup.
Yeah. I mean, Tampa behind a Jameis Winston.
Sure.
You wouldn't have to change the offense too much.
Yeah, you really don't want to bring him into like a Cleveland because I mean,
or a Buffalo now.
What would that do for you?
Or like a Kansas City who has a young Patrick Mahomes who is quote unquote the heir apparent.
Yeah, I don't think Manziel would challenge him.
No, but then if Mahomes struggles, you've got the should they bring Manziel in? And that's what you don't want as an organization.
Chiefs are good for a couple years. They got Chad Henne for backup.
Well, yeah, and absolutely. Chad Henne's a great backup because there's no – I mean, there used to be an old saying, the most popular guy in town is your backup quarterback.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, like Henne or some of these other backups, those are guys that –
No, they're a backup.
Yeah, and the thing is, if the starter gets hurt, and do you believe they could win you a game? Sure.
Yeah.
If they don't make a lot of mistakes, yeah.
If your starter is going to miss maybe 2-3 games, can they come in and keep you alive?
Absolutely. We had it 2 years ago, Nick Foles.
Yeah. I mean, he did it in Philly this year.
He came in and won a game for us. And he looked good.
He freaking won a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, that's a cool story too. He was going to quit football, and he called Reed, and Reed brought him in, and there you go.
And then now he's Super Bowl champ.
He's Super Bowl champ.
All right, Johnny Manziel. We'll see what happens. A quote came out this morning from Deion Sanders. Obviously, in my opinion, Deion is the greatest cover corner to ever play the game in the NFL. Famous quote.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They don't pay me to tackle. They pay me to lock down one side of the field. And Deion did it.
And he didn't have to tackle too much.
No, he did. And Deion did it. But he says, he played for the Cowboys. He says they need to let bygones be bygones, re-sign Dez to a smaller contract, and let him work out his demons. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, okay, here's the thing. The upside is he already knows the offense. You're bringing in a guy. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know. So he's your number one again? You know what I mean? Like, that's your number one guy. You're just not paying him as much, which would be awesome. But the thing is, that dude had a ton of drops. So you got to, I don't know, you got to work with him on that, or you got to limit his targets or whatever. Having a Zeke back for a whole season could limit his targets, which will help. Because Zeke will carry the load again.
Yeah.
Which is what they should do.
Zeke Elliott healthy.
You're good to go.
That offense is going to be fine.
And that may help Dez.
Now, as a Cowboys fan, I mean, we texted about this earlier today. I'm okay if they bring him back, sign him to, $2.5 million, $3 million.
What was the offer he rejected in Baltimore?
I don't know. Can you look that up real quick?
Yeah.
But as you're doing that, I don't mind if they bring him back for a low contract, even if they load it with incentives. If you play this many snaps, if you catch this many touchdowns, if you catch this percentage of balls thrown your way, if you make the Pro Bowl, I mean, put bonuses in there that motivate him. I mean, money is a good motivator, but we couldn't pay him the $16 million that they were going to.
So they don't have the exact offer, but it was a multi-year contract.
Multi-year deal.
Yeah. It wasn't like they offered him peanuts or anything.
Yeah.
But I don't think, as far as we know, he hasn't gotten any other offers. I'm sure somebody has, but he hasn't got any other offers. So, I mean, the thing is, if those guys are willing to bring him back, and would it work out? Yeah, you just got to figure out what to do with those drops, because the drops will kill your drives.
Yeah. I mean, just like we just talked about with T.O., would you be mad if Kansas City brought him in for, say, $2.5, $3 million?
Nah.
And gave him some big incentive goals?
Oh, that's fine with me. I thought, for incentives, I thought Denver did a good move last year with Jamal Charles. It was all incentives. He didn't do anything, but that was the perfect contract for him. Because his knees are all jacked
Give
up.
him a chance. And honestly, if a guy is reaching those incentive goals, you're winning games.
100%.
So it's okay to pay him that money because you're winning games.
Yeah, Cowboys.
And you're selling more tickets, you're selling more merchandise, you're selling more jerseys, so on and so forth.
The Cowboys are in a good spot because if they are going to think about offering him a contract, they could wait a little bit. If they're kind of like, you know what, we'll see. If they wait longer and longer, then no offers come for Dez, and then he'll go cheaper. So they should wait and see what he does. But, yeah, so why not? I mean, for cheaper. Because I think he was going to make like 12. I think he was going to make like $12.5 million or something. And you don't need that. I mean, you don't need to be paying a guy that leads the NFL in drops.
Yeah,
5-6 million. I mean, just limit his targets down a little bit and go from there. So I don't know.
So all right, this week I saw some big news. We're both big wrestling fans. Shawn Michaels, who is arguably the greatest in-ring performer of all time. Maybe number 2, maybe number 3. Debate that another time. But Shawn Michaels, finally, since he retired in 2010, has said, I'm open to one more match if it's the right story. What's your thoughts there?
Okay, so when you initially text me, and you didn't tell me who it was, and I hadn't been on Twitter or anything yet that day, I was hoping for Stone Cold. I was hoping for Stone Cold Steve Austin because I'd like to see that, and I think that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if he's in. He'd have to get back into ring shape. And
Stone Cold's pretty much, I think, buried.
I think he's done. Michaels,
and he's been adamant since his retirement. That's it until this week.
Yeah, and the thing is, Steve Austin he makes the podcast. He has the shows on CMT. Like, dude makes money.
Yeah,
he's got the beer.
He's good.
He's selling
he's got his own beer,
vodka or whiskey or something.
Yeah,
and Stone Cold's been really smart about his money and everything. So and I don't think Michaels needs the money. I think Michaels loves being in the ring. And every time we see Shawn Michaels come on TV, he looks like he's
great.
And he wears his gear. Like the WrestleMania came out, he's wearing gear, and I'm like, oh god, please. And but okay, so. Who do you put him with?
Oh, man. I mean, there's a ton of guys. Obviously, there was a big rumor, a few years ago about him and AJ Styles right after AJ came to WWE. I think they would burn down the house. I mean, Seth Rollins is another guy. I would love to see Shawn Michaels, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, me too. I don't need to see. I don't need to see Michaels Jericho. I'm good.
No,
I love Chris Jericho. I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
I don't need to see Michaels fight Triple H.
No, I definitely don't want that. I mean, we've seen it. They're both great performers. Triple H is still in great shape too, but we've seen it. If he comes back for a one-off,
I don't need to see Michaels and Cena.
No, I want it to be somebody he's never worked with. And somebody else that is a great worker.
And the thing is, too, if he ends up working with Rollins or Styles, they literally could probably talk for a few minutes and go, all right, let's do it.
All right, we got it.
And they could just go for it. And they could put on a 20-minute match, and it'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
SummerSlam would be, if he's really ready, SummerSlam would be really cool.
I mean, it'll be.
But see, the thing is, so Styles is champ. Yeah, Styles is champ. So it can't.
It's not going to be SummerSlam.
It can't be for the belt, right?
I would think because he said it would have to be a one-off. So I mean, in my mind, it's going to be a big pay-per-view. So it's going to be a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania.
So we can look down the line. Survivor Series would be good timing.
Yeah,
that would give Michaels time to get in good shape.
So yeah, and it gives him time to work. I mean, he's been working with NXT, the younger guys at NXT. So he's probably been in a ring, and I think that maybe why now he's like, you know what, I could still go out there and be Shawn Michaels one more time. Be the showstopper one more time.
Do you have any doubt about that?
I don't. I mean, could he work a full schedule again? Absolutely not. But would I be okay if in one pay-per-view he had one main event match? I think he would do great. I don't think it would be. I mean, we've seen some older wrestlers come out. I mean, we saw Hulk Hogan and Triple H in 2002. And Hulk Hogan did look really old. And if you watch the match back, I mean, when you saw Hogan Michaels, what was that? Like 2003 SummerSlam? Something like that. I mean, Hogan looked really old. He could barely move.
Well, the thing is, too, you watch that match back. So Michaels is really smart. Michaels made Hogan look like a good clown.
He did,
because he basically was selling the heck out
overselling everything.
Because Hogan was no selling everything.
Yeah,
and so Michaels and I had no problem with Michaels doing that because that was Hogan. We know Do I like Hulk Hogan? Yeah, it's fine.
If it's not for Hulk Hogan, I'm not the wrestling fan I am today.
That's true. But as you watch, and we got bigger fans, we could tell you who the best wrestlers are, and it for sure ain't Hulk Hogan.
No. And Hulk Hogan even said in the Ric Flair 30 for 30, I had kind of an A